Is it easier for white people to come out than it is for people of colour?
Yes, of course.
I think it's easier.
Of course.
I think it's easier because with people of colour, it's more cultural. A lot of people are more cultural. They come from like cultural backgrounds and that, so it's more strict. But with white people, I don't think. In my opinion, I don't see it like that.
There's more freedom.
Yeah.
To embrace who you are.
Maybe societally, yeah, but obviously again, interpersonally, you have different cultures within white families, right? So I'm an Irish person, so queerness ain't okay in my family.
Yeah.
They accept it because what choice do they have? Other than dismissing me, and if they do, that's their choice as well, you know? Like, it is what it is, but I would say there is truth in it, but maybe not complete truth.
I think definitely 100% because it's just as you mentioned, it's in some of our culture it's just a no-no. In Jamaica, it's a no-no. In Africa, it's a no-no.
I think like in all of our cultures. So whereas like with white people, as you said, there's small groups that don't, but there are other ones that do.
Yeah, 100%.
Like with black, it's just straight up.
No,
but cultures don't like it. So if we're asking which one's easier, then we know which one. Easier for white people. It's just like
but then again, it comes down to religion as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be modern age.
Like Catholic, like you said, you're Irish. There's Catholic Irish people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a Roman Catholic family.
And that's a no-no for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the same as well when you think about it.
Yeah. Like religion and those things will have more to do with the fact than your actual race, if you actually think about it. Because the truth of truth of the experience is that me as a person, taking colour out of it, I can either be accepted or unaccepted like everybody else, right?
Take colour out of it and put it where? Sorry to interject over there. Alright, so I'm just going to say what no one's saying. Like, ultimately, there's a clear difference because there is a privilege that we don't have as people of colour. We just don't in many aspects of life.
Agreed.
Many aspects of life. So to be able to say taking colour out of it, I can never say that.
Yeah, obviously.
I can never, as a person of colour, say, oh, let's take colour out of it because that's never ever going to be my experience.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. It's not the experience.
It's never going to be my experience. It's never going to be my child's experience. It's never going. Do you understand? It's never been that experience. It's very easy for someone who, as sympathetic or as understanding or as much knowledge as you might have about other cultures, just to be able to have the privilege to say the phrase take colour out of it. Take colour out of it. Just says so much for me because again, that's something I can never do in a conversation. So with that, like for me, that's it. Done. Like mic drop. Like that's like I
do agree with what you're saying, but as I said, like we're talking about like the here and now. We're not moving forward at all. Like we're talking about like this is how it's been, right? And we're just saying this is how it is. Instead of saying, so is there not like ways for us to move forward past this idea that blackness is somehow and other is worse?
Easier, and the answer is it's easier for white people.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I agreed. I did agree that it was easier. I absolutely do agree. I was just trying to make the point that like I think there's some like deeper details in there that have to be sort of consumed. Like I said, like culture and that matters. Like I'm Roman Catholic Irish, so there's no way that it was acceptable. It wasn't acceptable. The end. My dad never accepted it. My dad's dead now. Like his family never accepted it. I've got an uncle who was gay his whole life and moved to America and lived in the closet. Like this is cultural. It's not just about.
But I do think white people are a bit more laid back and a bit more relaxed about this whole. Being gay and stuff like that. Black people, not all of them, because my parents are not homophobic and they're born and bred in Jamaica. They're old school Jamaicans, it depends. But I just feel white people in general are just a bit more relaxed, a bit more, open-minded, not so judgmental when it comes to things like that. Black people are just, especially religious ones, as you mentioned.
Expectation to conform.
But I think it's only religious black people that are like that. Exactly. The ones that are stuck in their ways. My parents are not religious.
I was gonna say that.
No, I don't think they
no,
are religious. I just think they use religion. Because they're not, most of them aren't even religious. They don't go to church. They don't go to anything. They just say, oh no.
No, but whenever I get approached by a black person, it always bring up Adam and Eve. All the time.
Listen, my dad has been harassed. My dad has been a Jew. My dad's been a Muslim. Right? My dad's been a Nubian. He's been everything. Religion's got nothing to do with it. It's him.
Yeah.
Exactly. It is him. That is it.
When I grew up as a kid, I was in the church all my life until I was about 8 or 9. But I was an altar boy as well, so it was part of my cult. Like, it was really cultural. It was like we were always at church. I was an altar boy, part of the service, choir.
There's too many times nowadays people are just like, oh, you know what, I don't like anyone that's gay because it says this in the Bible. But they don't know where in the Bible. Nor do they know anything else about the Bible. Nor do they go to church. Nor do they even know where their local church is or what their pastor's name is. They don't know nothing, but yet they're just continuously using religion. Why? Because they're stupid.
And not to take away, I don't want to take away from what you were saying before, from your experience, because I understand your experience may be different to the wider community.
Mm-hmm.
But on a whole, I guarantee you will have it easier than 9%, nine times out of 10 when it comes to if you put the ratios up.
I would absolutely agree. I would agree with you, absolutely. I don't think I was disagreeing with the point. I think I was just trying to, like I said, just like add food for thought in the conversation because I'm the white face in the room and this is about whiteness being involved into this conversation. So I just wanted to make it clear that, like, yeah, obviously from the perspective of the society we live in, it's more difficult to be a person of colour. You're marginalised, you're erased. I totally understand that, but like I said, like for me personally, it wasn't that easy for me to be queer. Like I came out in my late 20s. I'm talking about almost 30.
No, I think that I do completely agree with you. Yeah, I understand that you went through your struggle, but what we're saying is that our struggle was those religious struggles that you're going through, but also a black struggle on top.
Yeah.
Which just doesn't really.
No, I agree, but obviously that is because that's directly about your race being like the lead of the point, which is obviously exactly your experience. I wasn't trying to erase the experience.
You're just telling us that you struggle too.
I'm just saying that white people don't necessarily have it easy. Like generally speaking, I would say black people have it harder, yes, but not like white people just don't accept queerness. Just it doesn't happen like that.
And also, I think what it is as well,
with
when it comes to black people, it's just everywhere. It's just all against us. It's in the music.
Yeah.
It's in films. You go walk on the street and a Jamaican will say fish. Do you know what I mean? I don't know whether in your culture you have music that's homophobic. Is there anything that's homophobic? Because I'm saying it's not as prominent as in the black community. It's hard. It's hard. Like sometimes.
But obviously, like folk music. Obviously, like some folk music and some country music has actually got a lot of racist.
Is there any song that's like
no, I've not heard anything personally.
Yeah, this is the truth.
No, I've personally not listened to no
song. We could go out raving and then, do you know what I mean, straight to a straight rave.
But you know what, yeah? You know what? I think it comes down to
gay rave and it's all
I'm saying any black rave will hear Bun Up the Chichi Man, you know, all of it. It's mad. I do not agree with the homophobic lyrics in Bashment. I don't play it. I like hearing it. When I'm out at a straight event and I hear it, I just feel really cringe. I feel like it's personal to my soul. I don't like it. I feel uncomfortable.
That's an individual experience. Because you know what, yeah? Like, both my parents are Muslim. My dad is black. Yeah, and I was accepted. When I came out, I was accepted by both my parents. Yeah, and I have a friend who's white, who's English, and her parents have still disowned her 10 years after coming out.
What is her background? English what?
English, she's just English.
Okay.
Yeah, and her parents have disowned her. And her parents are not even religious, they're just homophobic.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna have not to take away from what you've just said, because you've made a great point.
Yeah.
How many other people of colour have been accepted? How many other people can you put in that list? If you got 10 people, how many what would the numbers be?
No, I'm not gonna like go with statistics here, but all I'm saying all I'm saying is there's black people that don't get accepted and there's white people that don't get accepted.
Is it more acceptable for white people? Yes, it's more acceptable. We agree though.
it's harder for black people in general, yeah, but when it comes to coming out, it's hard, I think it's harder for white people as well. Like, it's
I disagree.
No, I said it's harder for white people.
Okay.
I didn't say harder, but I said it's hard for white people.
No, absolutely.
No, but as well. But I just don't like that we're saying as well, because it's not the same. It's
same.
different. and it's
Sorry,
not
it is
as
different.
much.
Absolutely.
Do you know what?
So-
This slyly sounds like Black Lives Matter. Oh. All lives matter, kind of like blue lives matter. It kind of slyly, and I'm not, and yeah, it just kind of got, it's got that kind of.
Well, if that's the case, I would like to apologise if anyone thinks that I'm directly like applying anything to that. All I'm trying to say is for my personal experience as a white person, because the conversation is it harder? I said yes, it's definitely harder for people of colour, all people of colour, to come out than it is for white people in a mainstream sense. That's what I'm saying. In a mainstream sense, because we live in a mainstream culture, is white culture, if you like.
Life in general is harder for black people. Yeah? Life in general is harder for black people. But when it comes to like coming out, it's hard for white people.
Help me.
Alright, so let me ask you guys a question, if anyone's willing to share. Have you guys got any coming out stories that potentially were negative?
Absolutely.
Not for my parents. My parents were negative, but obviously family, like other family, were negative. But that don't really matter to me.
I mean, mine was kind of like, I decided on that one day that I was going to tell like my siblings and my parents. I didn't get around to all of them, I got around to most. Starting with my sister, which was fine, my brother, which was fine, which I didn't think was going to be. And then it was my other brother who then said to me, I can't talk to you right now, and walked off. From that moment, I kind of like felt like things were just about to go downhill. And I knew that at that point that I went to tell my parents afterwards, but I thought he was going to react well. So if he didn't, then I didn't know what was going to happen past this. Mind you, I'm a 20-year-old kid. And at that point, I went to kill myself, quite literally. So I was speaking to my friend on MSN at the time. I was going to like his phone. MSN. I literally remember her trying to like convince me. Like I was going in the kitchen. It was funny enough. I had just seen like a documentary about boys committing suicide, but girls just only attempting because they know in which way to slash the wrist. And I had literally had the knife to my wrist and I was holding it, contemplating like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And at that point, I had to think to myself, do I want to do this? Do I want to end this now? Or am I secretly hoping that I wake up in the hospital and everyone's around me and they're like, oh, it doesn't matter that you're gay, we care about you anyway. And I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this, so I didn't. But yeah, it was definitely a lot. My parents, it was shaky, more so with my mum than with my dad. Although we don't really talk about it, but my mum and I have like ongoing dialogue to where we're a lot better now. But yeah, it was rocky, man. It was rocky.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, my experience, like it was less my mum, because I guess my mum just knows her son. You know, like one of them things, but my dad never really accepted me from I was a child. And then obviously when I came out in my late like 20s, I was doing music, I was in a group and everything. So basically like they were my friends, my family, they were like everything. I spent every day in the studio working with these people, and like I got to that place where I was like, I feel like I'm living like this false identity, this false reality. I feel like I'm suffocating in my own existence. And I just decided, right, that's it. I'm stopping everything. I'm just doing me. I'm going to tell everyone that I'm gay and I don't give a shit no more. Blah, 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 blah. And like I did, and I lost all my friends. Some of them managed to reconnect with me later on, but I lost all of them at first. Like every single person literally cut me off. Every person. And that's my real experience. Every person. All my closest friends that I'd been friends with for 6, 7 years, I'd helped feed their kids, change their babies' nappies like madness. Everybody turned their back on me.
That's horrible, man.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. It's crazy, but hey, from there comes
it's
strength.
That this is just our lives, though. Isn't
Yeah,
it? Like,
just,
this is the shit that we're expected in a way to go through. Like, when we get to a certain age and we have an understanding of ourselves, it's kind of like I expect somebody to tell me a horror story.
Yeah, it's true, but I mean, I haven't got a great story, but I do want to say, more recently, I've been hearing better stories coming from people of colour. With their people saying, my parents don't, my parents don't care. I mean, my story was like, they're not all bad, but there is a clear cultural difference. But in my case, my mum's fine, absolutely fine. She was like, I knew one of my kids would. Like that was my mum's stance on it. My dad, on the other hand, I don't know how to tell this man. There was things that I put off because I didn't want my dad to switch on the TV and find out on the TV. If my dad gets angry, you're a dirty dyke. You're a dirty lesbian. You're a this. You're a that, and everything like that. And this is other people. This isn't even me. He's talking about. This is other people. So how do I then talk to this man and say to him, well, actually, I'm homophobic because of religion. The Bible says this. The Quran says this. Please.
You know, I watched a documentary recently on YouTube, and it was talking about gays in Jamaica, and they got like live in the gully and stuff like that. The men, not really the girls, but the men. And they was basically saying it's just because of the government don't care about them. It's the music, and you know, if all these things are coming at you, of course your family's going to disown you. Do you know what I mean? And music is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
And imagine like your favourite artist is saying, ban out the chichi man, gay is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, fuck lesbians, you understand that? Of course people are gonna like look at the artist and rate them more than their friend or their family member. When I'm out DJing, I will never play. When it comes to my event, I tell the DJ, do not play homophobic music because it's offensive. It's bashment. Everyone loves bashment music. Do you understand? So even, I don't know, it's mad.
No, you're right, music.
What's
music pushes the culture as well.
Yeah,
it
not
pushes
just music,
culture
but
views.
even like growing up, every time we watched like cartoons, we watched films, it was always a man and a woman, a man and a woman, a girl and a boy. It was always like that. We grew up believing that it's not normal. And anything else is a normal apart from that.
Yeah.
And that was constantly reaffirmed as well, that it's not normal.
Exactly. And it's the fact that no one gets taught at a young age that there are gays. Like no one really talks about it. It's like a stigma that no one really talks about.
I'm trying to think, do they teach it in primary school? Do they teach that to us?
No, they're trying to, but they're not.
That's not true anymore because now the whole sex ed thing, they want to introduce.
Yeah, they want to introduce it, but it's not happening.
Parents are pushing against
because
it.
parents, obviously.
But same for cartoons and even films, you are seeing gay people represented in them now.
True.
But that's just now. That's just now. But before it wasn't like that. Like we used to grow up.
Yeah, but it might not have been like that before. But white people still managed to have some sort of dialect with their children and be able to accept things. So why couldn't we? Like they were able to, even without that sex education in school, without those certain things in place, they were still able to have that safe place for their children to go and say, well, actually, this is me.
Yeah, because it was pushed that that homophobia was cool, homophobia was masculine, and because of all of those things, that's what black people drew to, and because they're trying to prove themselves continuously. Exactly. Like since slavery, they've just been trying to prove themselves. It's definitely seen as if you are somewhat of a bully, or if you look down on anything that's gay, that's gonna somehow make you appear more straight. So when people start doing that, it becomes the cool thing. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk down about this gay guy. I'm gonna say this bad about this person. When it's not cool and it doesn't make you straight. In fact, it makes you look more gay.
People that are homophobic have gay tendencies themselves. They have them emotions within themselves, but they don't know how to, you know, address it or how. They just think it's wrong. Because when I was young, I was homophobic as well. I didn't like lesbian people, gay people. So, but deep down, I did. I was like that myself. So I don't know. It's a bit weird.
And continuously doing that is just like mashing up everybody else, which is dumb. Like, how could you go through something so horrible as slavery and then want to put something bad on somebody else and your own people? That thought is just foolishness. But they're doing it through music continuously. But I don't.
Do you know? Yeah, music nowadays actually.
Just like dancehall though.
You know, music nowadays is they're actually promoting it now. They're not like trying to hide or trying to slander being gay. Like it's actually a fashion thing now. Everyone you meet now is coming out there. Even guys A lot of guys are coming out as bi, girls. Doesn't matter what race you are, black, white, whatever. Everyone is bi now. It's like it's the in thing right now. Do you understand? Like young thug wears dresses.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's that much of an in thing for guys. Obviously, like Lil Nas X is working.
Yeah, Lil Nas X is coming out.
It's working out for him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's an in thing for guys.
I think it is, but a lot of guys will do things undercover. People are doing it undercover. Do you understand? I've got a lot of gay guy friends. A lot of straight guys are not really straight. Do you understand? They're out there doing their thing. It's more prominent now. It's more prominent now. I know so many straight guys that are you know. Straight. No, but the thing is, they shouldn't have to hide. They shouldn't have to hide though. They shouldn't have to hide. They shouldn't have to hide who they want to be. Do you understand?
Sorry, facts. How is it harder on guys than it is females?
Because I think
you said it like you're confused.
I think it is. Do you know what it is? I think you know what it is. It's because the way society perceives masculinity. Like a guy needs to be a certain way. Yeah.
That's the worst thing in the world.
Me growing up, I heard the same thing at home. A female has to be a certain way. She has to wear a dress. She has to do this.
No.
You have to have a child. Yeah. So these are the reasons why you cannot be a lesbian. Because where's the child coming in? This is what I'm saying. So I can't say.
That's only at home. But when you walk in the street, how is it?
It's exactly the same.
Really?
No. That I should be looking like this.
Never.
Really? Girls get attacked by more than men. Within
that might be her.
We're talking about the culture, but we're talking about within the culture.
This is what we're saying. That's not the truth.
That's why I asked the question. There are crimes that go undocumented, unreported, things that happen to women on a daily basis. Women are sexually harassed on a daily basis just for being open and identifying as a lesbian. Do women get attacked? Of course they do. Do women get raped? Of course they do.
Of course lesbians have it easier. Like, no one's saying that they don't go through stuff. Yes, everyone goes through stuff. However, women, like, they go through their women's struggles, but gay men, like, come on now. Anything that questions anyone's masculinity or makes anyone seem less masculine is where they're gonna get shut down. So women that like, yeah, cool, yeah, whatever. But no, the gay guys are getting it worse. And the reason why trans women, so like men to women, get it so bad is because straight people only see them as gay men. So they're just after gay men. We get it worse. And the thing is though, yeah, when you're saying about lesbians are having, I don't know if you're saying...
I never said, I just wanted to know
where this is coming from.
Where it's coming from.
Because
my experience is, like I said, I've experienced... See, what you guys might not hear is when, for instance, a group of men then will sit there and say, what a waste, look on the girl there. All that waste, shall wear the trousers bottom them and lower. We can fix that, you know. The thought of, I've heard people say things so derogatory against stud females, right? About masculine females and about the way that they dress, the things that they would do to them. And just because they're female, I would take off the clothes, I would do this. And these are the things that people say, but these are the things that we don't talk about. And so when I'm hearing people say it's harder because that's what's on the forefront. These are the things I said, underhanded, that people don't necessarily hear all the time.
Honey, I'm sorry. Like, things that I understand your struggle. And things that I know bare lesbian girls, so I know the shit that they go through. But when you're saying that, yeah, it's coming across the exact same way you were just saying to Nine that he shouldn't say that about black people and white people. Because you're saying, oh, look at us too. Listen, we know that lesbians have their struggles. No, but that's how it's coming across. No. I know that lesbians have struggles, and no way am I saying that they don't have struggles. But it doesn't mean that it's the same as gay men.
And I think that's not the difference.
I didn't
say they're physically attacked, whereas we'll be dismissed. We can change her.
And even with lesbians, yeah?
It's a phase.
Physically attacked. Was there not recently as well? Recently, was there not as many women that got beat up recently? Do you not remember the women that got beat up for being gay? Recently, in the news. Just as
it happened.
It happened,
but not as much is what I'm saying.
We know it's not.
The physical attack is not as much. We will be attacked in different ways.
It's just like gay men saying that they get attacked more than trans. We don't.
That's right.
We don't. Yeah, so I'm not even gonna try and equate it to that.
Because they feel they can take it. No, okay. because you're a lesbian.
The importance of what you're saying
what
about
you
the
need.
actual physical threat that lesbian women suffer, that I totally actually feel you and understand what you're
Yeah, it
saying.
should be declared.
Because especially like stud presenting females, because they present male, like more masculine, masculinity is
I've got to
threatened,
teach you a
toxic
lesson.
masculinity is
Yeah, I have to
threatened,
teach you a
so
lesson.
then they actually feel like their masculinity is threatened, so they actually tend
wanna
to be
take it.
aggressive and want to like, I'll make you a woman, I'll take that masculinity out of you. So I do understand exactly what you're saying, and I understand like the implications of how traumatic that is for a woman to experience, whether she was lesbian or not. Do you know what I'm saying? That actual thought of you're gonna be like attacked because you're threatening someone else's identity, like
And that comes down to it being easier for feminine lesbians than
100%.
it's definitely
yeah,
easier.
yeah.
For feminine
So it's
lesbian.
about
Because a feminine
masculinity.
lesbian, like
You can't even tell if she's a lesbian or not.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Like,
So-
she's how society perceives a woman should be.
Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
masculine and gay guys though.
Yeah.
But how do you guys think that society's changed it now?
In regards to music, do you mean?
In
What's
general,
in general?
how has society changed like the coming out experience?
I think it's because a lot of people that are looked up to. I think it's just to do with like music and like the media right now.
Yeah.
Because the media is saying it's all right and the society is saying it's all right.
Culture's pushing the
teaching
shit.
it more.
Exactly.
They're
Yeah,
teaching
culture's
it more in
pushing the
schools
shit.
as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's much more easier for people to come out. Obviously, but again, it all depends on the individual experience, because you still can have homophobic parents who are strong in their religion.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, as a whole, if you're, growing up in this new millennium, and you want to come out, or you want to find access, or trying to find new gay friends, or meet new gay partners, it's more
It's
easier.
easier.
There's
Yeah.
more events out there.
It's the social
It's-
network.
yeah.
era,
Yeah,
right?
everything
It's
is.
the age.
There's gender neutral toilets now. Everything's more
Yeah,
easier.
It's a lot easier to connect.
It's
with people.
easier. Everything's just easier now than what we had growing up.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah.
about time.
Hell
And,
yeah.
we keep talking about these cartoons that are, that have same-sex couples and stuff. Well, come on, hurry up. Get
Yeah.
them out.
Mhm. Get
Like,
them out.
get them out. Because ultimately, I taught my child these things, but I would
Do
have
you guys
liked
think
them to
that
be
some
able
shows
to...
are just doing it for clout though?
Well,
Of course,
yeah.
of course.
But do you mind?
No, because the intention is for the movement, the development of like society and all of us as
But
like
it's
a
not
community.
their intention really. Their intention.
No,
is
not
just
them
to
as an
make it
individual,
more
but it helps
It's
the
what they're doing,
cause.
yeah.
It helps the
It's
cause. It helps the
it's
children,
what
because
it's
we didn't have that. I didn't have like gay characters that I could identify with when I was watching television as a youngster. So to see there are like I said, you'd have to be like in a girl character.
I mean, that would
or
be
something like
crazy. I'm just trying to imagine like,
Yeah,
as a
like,
kid,
exactly.
to see that. That would just
Exactly,
would have been
exactly.
wild.
It would be amazing because you'd feel validated by seeing it. You'd literally be like, oh, I do exist.
Exactly. Because before you think like there's something wrong with you.
I also think dialogue such as this helps because
Oh yeah.
also when you're speaking with young people, talk to them on a real level. Talk to them. Don't talk down to them. Talk to them because it's important. I feel like, again, I keep going back to my child. If I can be the first point of call for certain things, you're going out there into the world a better rounded individual. And the more we instill these things in children, the better they are accepting and understanding and not seeing differences between people and just accepting people for what they are. So I think we need to keep dialogue open all the time.
And that's why it's good about this generation, because now we're shifting into a place where we can create our own platforms and we can be the voice, we can create places to be visible. So that helps the future generations more and more and more. Like we're all pushing forward with the same like intention, which is brilliant. It's like now we're in this age, we can all do it. We can literally just get our smartphone and we can start filming videos and we can talk about our identities, and that creates visibility for everyone else. Or we can come together collectively and create these situations, and they're like independent, so they're being controlled by the people who actually are presenting the information versus like it being like
Your story told by someone
story
else.
told by someone else's
Yeah.
experience, That's the beautiful thing about this like shift, is that like social media's done it for us really more than anything. Like this new generation, they're being raised by social media.
Did
not
you
by
guys
their
have
parents.
anything that you connected to as a kid that drew you to like, oh yeah, this could make me?
RuPaul, when she come out with Supermodel back in the day, I was like,
Yes!
You know what? I don't even remember Supermodel, but I do
do.
remember RuPaul in Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Yeah.
And there was an episode where like it was, RuPaul was playing the Friends and secretly done drag. So then but then LL accepted him during the episodes. But there was a bit of hesitance at first, but then they accepted him, so then ended up going to like the drag club.
Yeah.
But I remember that one being like, wow. This
Yeah,
is
I mean,
like-
Rue was the first representation of like not like cis identity for me personally. I see her in music videos, I saw her on TV shows, and I was just like,
I knew I'd seen him
Okay.
before, but it was still.
I was like, okay.
I've noticed there's a lot of things for gay guys. There's not much things for like lesbians, especially
Not
studs.
Yeah,
and black.
I mean,
and
yeah,
black,
business
yeah.
self-location.
There's literally
Like-
nothing. The only person I can think of when I was growing up was
Yeah.
probably the Brat. But
Oh,
you
really?
don't really know whether she was lesbian or straight. Like
Yeah.
one minute she said,
Never came
one
out,
minute she
was
said
it?
she was. Yeah, she never actually. Her Missy never officially came out as.
Is Missy a lesbian?
I don't know.
And Queen Latifah.
But personally, I think they are.
She only
Personally,
just-
I've heard
Only
stories
just
about
got
the
married,
Brat
no.
and
Yeah.
Missy
Oh, okay,
Elliott.
I
Do you know what I mean?
didn't know.
You hear stories
Ah.
about them doing things with girls and
No.
whatever. But there's nothing official.
I
There's nothing official. So there's nothing. There's no one I looked up to when I was younger to be like, oh yeah, like they're rapping
Yeah,
this
that's a shame.
for
That's
me.
a shame. I
There's
mean,
nothing.
I'm acting
nothing.
like I had better. I only had one, but it's still.
At least you
But
had
to have
one.
one,
Yeah,
with
that's what I'm
nothing
saying.
is-
And there's
is
loads more
definitely
now.
Yeah.
Do you
and the
know what I mean?
Muppets as well. The Dracula, he always felt very queer.
Did he?
No,
he was really gay to me. I was like, he's definitely gay, right? How can you not see that Count Dracula from Sesame Street is gay? He's super effeminate, he's well dressed, and his articulation, he's got a beautiful European accent. Clearly that's a gay person, no?
What about Tinky Winky as well?
Wow.
He was a black gay man. Well, obviously not a man, but
A little
That one
L.
left.
How did you see that?
Tink. It was okay.